Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well and trust you're having a good morning. It's Thursday morning, August the 1st. We're in a new month. It is the dog days of summer for a good portion of North America, if not all of it. And watching here, guys, that before we open in about a minute and a half, it's 9:28 and a half right now, a.m. New York time. The Three Sisters, the boring routine, same thing every day. NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow, 1 minute chart. Volume weighted average price, 2.5 standard deviations. Here are the daily charts, or what I call the daily frame for the Three Sisters, NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. You can see we've had this 10% pullback or sell-off on the NASDAQ, and now we've had a couple of up days, right? Certainly yesterday was a very big up day. And after a very big move, whether it's up or down, and we saw this on the S&P and on the Dow, it's reasonable to expect a consolidation day or a sideways day or a range-bound day or a pullback day, any of the above. And that would be just normal ebb and flow of the market. And so the context is very important here. Very big day on the NASDAQ, and from bottom to top, of course. And a big earnings day of yesterday as well. And today is a huge earnings day with Apple, Amazon, Intel all reporting after the close. And sometimes that can mean some meandering price action during the session, during the regular trading hours, which begin in about 15 seconds or so. So we had a big up day yesterday, took out a few highs on the NASDAQ, also on the S&P, and the Dow continues its rally attempt here, trying to get back to all-time highs, which are, in fact, right there. Just wanted to show you a little bit more to the left so you could see that very, very clearly. I'll bring you back to the Three Sisters right here. There's the first candle opening up. The first 1 minute candle to give us the 1 minute open range. You might use a 5 minute or a 30 minute or a 10 minute open range. You might use a 1 hour open range, which is fairly common, with the midpoint being the initial balance, IB. And there are many different ways to do this. These days I'm using the 1 minute open range. I've from years used a 10 minute open range, but just change things up according to the dance, and this seems to be the most efficient or effective for me at this time. That could change going forward. Who knows? I'll put you on pause, guys. Cut out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments, things of that nature. Keep this video nice and tight. There's the 1 minute candle closing in 3 seconds. Can you see it there? Right there, and it's done. There's the open range, guys. Some of you are interested in this, so I'll tell you that the amplitude or the height of the open range on the NASDAQ is only 23.5 points, fairly tight. On the S&P, the 1 minute open range is only 5 points, and the Dow would be significantly more. Here, let me just give it to you. Why not? Nothing else to do. 68 points on the Dow. And that's to be expected, given that it's a much higher priced index, if you will, 41,000 points instead of 5,600 on the S&P and nearly 20,000 on the NASDAQ. All right, guys, put you on pause, bring you back when things, or if things look a little more interesting here, I'll bring you back. All right, guys, over on the trading grid, or the power grid I like to call it, there's that, we're kind of inside the range here on the daily. We're at the bottom of a short-term range here on the 30-minute chart. I don't put a whole lot of stock in this particular support zone, given that it was from the UK session, and now, of course, the massive North American market has entered the game, along with many global players, of course, who come to play on this open of the New York session. But I'll be watching it. It's worth watching for sure. But of course, the bigger levels and most important levels are here back on the in the New York session of yesterday and prior days, and of course anything that caused this big run up yesterday. So these levels down here are very important, and so on and so forth. Not all zones are created equal, as you can imagine. But I will not be jumping all over anything here right at the get-go, although it can be tempting sometimes. But I'm watching this, looking for a potential continuation higher here. Let's take a look at the Three Sisters, shall we? Breaking above here on the NASDAQ, S&P, and pulling back a little bit on the Dow. I'm going to ignore the Dow here for the most part for now. I'm not going to jump on this right now, guys. So nothing to do here, guys. Just meandering price action for now. We are breaking above the open range. But I want to make it very clear, and I sometimes think that there's some confusion out there that this is not an open range break model. I think some traders think that just because prices break the open range and to the upside that a trader should buy, or if it breaks to the downside that you should sell. And that is not the case at all in terms of my model. This is really a much bigger picture concept, incorporating things like the daily chart and the 30-minute chart and what have you. So I'll be watching this closely to put together a picture, a composite picture in units of conviction around an entry, not just jumping into something because prices happen to be dancing. Prices dance on the open. That's the nature of the open, but we need a lot more reason than just breaking above an open level or an open range. Hopefully that helps to clarify just a little bit. Sometimes you get questions, why didn't you buy here on this break? Well, it's just a break. It's just a candle, right? The open range just, is one piece of the case. Pulling back now on the S&P and the NASDAQ, but a very mixed picture here, guys, with S&P above EMAs or on EMAs and above the open range, and the Dow rallying fairly strongly now with the NASDAQ dropping. This might turn into a zone break trade here, who knows? But not jumping on anything yet. Price is pulling back up again here at this support zone from the UK session. Of course, the UK session is still open here, guys. There's an overlap until about 11:30, depending on what European country you're looking at. Here we go, guys. Buy stop order above the high here with a stop below. I'll fix this marker in a moment. I'll be looking for 1 hour, just to be clear. And I'm in, guys. And I'm in. I am long the NASDAQ. Bear with me for one moment. So why did I take this long? Well, the bigger picture is we're in a kind of a bullish momentum environment right now with a break above yesterday's massive bullish candle. We actually broke during the Asian session. Really, it was on the earnings of yesterday. So when the regular trading hours for Asia were closed, but the futures market was open, right? So we had that break above yesterday's very bullish candle already. That trail has been blazed. We've had this fairly orderly pullback here through Asia and the UK session so far. We are tagging a zone that I mentioned here and pushed down below, but then rejected back up again and breaking into session high. That to me is ample reason to toss the coin, a weighted coin, and calling heads. No guarantees this is going to work whatsoever. And one more push should do it, guys. And there it is. Thanks for being with me just before news. News comes out in about 1 minute and 5 seconds. So this was really good timing. Have an amazing day. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Talk soon.